What's up, guys? This is Ian here, coach of your Ladner Lanturn, bringing you guys the battle portion of our match against Oboe and the Houston Laxes, taking over for Polymac and the West Coast Wingles. I'm just going to do a quick live edit there. Get that logo a little bit bigger. Alright, his team consists of Aegislash, Togekiss, Latias the user, Suicune, Blissey, Breloom, Mega Tyranitar, Stoutland the user, Stunfisk the user, Avalugg, Talonflame, and Foongus. I was not expecting Talonflame, Foongus, or Stoutland to come, and two of those did, so I'm a little bit surprised. Talonflame, Stoutland, or Talonflame, or Foongus. Yes, not. I was expecting the Stunfisk. I can't remember if I said that or not. I was also expecting the Suicune and the Blissey. My team is very offensive, and it looks like he's trying to match that for some reason. Actually, that would make sense. His team's very bulky, and I actually don't think that he can keep up with my offense, but that's sort of how it's going to play. So if you haven't seen the team builder, you should check it out, but otherwise, I'll run through the team really quickly here. I'm a specially defensive Empoleon for the Togekiss mainly, as well as a specially offensive Aegislash. With Rocks, Zapdos is a very speedy... pretty sure it's offensive Zapdos, actually, now that I remember. Very speedy, though. Kartana, I'm Protective Pad, Sub SD, Dual Stab. I figured it had the best matchup here. It really doesn't, but I thought it might. Oh, big yawn. Mamo, I'm Choice Scarf, Mimikyu, Z-Splash, and I'm a Lumberry, Rest 3 attacks, Malamar. So, hopping right into things here then. I'm just going to lead with my Zapdos. It's got a good matchup against everything not named Tyranitar right off the bat. And, of course, the Tyranitar is the lead, so I'm just going to swap out. I don't really know the set, so we'll figure out what kind of set it is going to the Empoleon. As I'm just going to trade Rocks here with the T-Tar. Based on that Earthquake damage, it's actually not attack invested, like, at all. It's very bulky Mega Tyranitar. Earthquake should have killed me. If this was attack invested Tyranitar, Earthquake should have killed me. So it's very much not attack invested. I figure it's probably safe for me to go into Kartana, as he's going to get a crunch off, and it's not going to do that much damage because Kartana is fairly physically defensive. Excuse me. He's got to be scared of Sacred Sword here because it'll one-shot him regardless of his investment. So he's going to swap as I'm going to sub, and in comes the Aegislash. I'm fine with that. I figure sub was my best play here. And then I'm just going to Leaf Blade, Scout Out. It's going to do the most damage, so Scout Out, see how much it's going to do. That's actually a lot of damage against the Aegislash. It's a very offensive Aegislash. And I'm going to swap into my Zapdos here on the Shadow Sneak, and I believe we're going to get the Static Para. Yes, so first paralysis of the game, Zapdos putting in hard work. In comes the T-Tar on my Roost. It's taking Rock Chip, which I'm okay with. Again, I still don't know if this thing has Stone Edge or not, so I'm just going to go right back into my Empoleon. I'm okay with sacking my Empoleon to this, and I do to the Crunch, because it lets me bring in my Malamar, which threatens this with the Superpower. So in comes the Togekiss on said Superpower. It does 5. It's a quad resisted hit, but that tells me this is fully physically defensive Togekiss. So not the best scenario for me, but Zapdos gets to come in for free on an Ancient Power, which makes it not so much for free. Trying to boost up on me, that's dangerous as hell. T-Tar comes back in, takes more Rocks Chip as I get a big Thunder Wave off. I figured Aegislash isn't going to switch into my Zapdos, and even if it does, I can Roost on it because it's slow. So Thunder Wave was my best play there. It just paralyzed anything, and I was okay with paralyzing anything, really. So T-Tar gets paralyzed. I get to Roost on a Crunch. So the Crunch is doing 50. It's doing over half, which is really annoying, which means I'm going to switch this time instead of trying to play that Roost game on the Toxic that burns my Lumberry. So we've seen the entire T-Tar set now, and it has no way to actually hit my Zapdos, no rock coverage. And the Togekiss was weakened, although it did get a Citrus Berry pop on the rocks there, so I was okay with just superpowering. And we're just gonna sort of 1v1 the Togekiss for a little bit here. Psycho Cut's not doing that much because even though I'm boosted, it's really not doing a whole lot. And then I think this turn I go for another attack. Yeah, okay, so I go for another boost expecting the Roost, just because I need more attack investment, and I break through the flinch and I get a big crit Psycho Cut. I was kind of hoping that would kill, but at least it gets me to rest on a guaranteed Roost there. Kind of sucks that I'm slower. I wish I was running a little bit of speed investment to outspeed this. I actually think this matchup would be a lot easier This 1v1 would be a ton easier if I was invested at all in speed. Psycho God doing 40 at +2 is pretty solid, and he still hasn't gotten an ancient power boost. I'm going to go for the superpower on this roost again and get up to +3. No, I'm not. Wait, what? Do I never go to +3? I thought I went to +3. There we go. Now I go for +3. +3 is important. It means a crit Psycho Cut will kill him, but I get flinched, and then I'm just going to die to this next Air Slash. So I was actually okay with that. It meant the Togekiss was weakened enough that Zapdos came in and just killed something with Thunderbolt, really. Yeah, the T-Tar is going to try and come back in. It doesn't really matter. I'm actually just going to roost on it, and then I can't remember if I go Cortana and it gets fully paralyzed. I think that's this turn. I go Cortana, it gets fully paralyzed on a crunch that he clicked, which would have killed the Cortana. It didn't matter. I was stacking Cortana anyways. And I'm just going to go for the raw Leaf Blade. Do some damage to the Aegislash, whatever I can. And then I'm choosing to predict full para or King's Shield, and I go for the Sword Stance as he just kills me with Shadow Claw. I could have just gone for another Leaf Blade there, but I didn't really know what I was doing. And then Zapdos is going to come in. I get to Roost here. I'm predicting him to King's Shield, so I get to Roost. We're stalling up more Sand turns, so Stoutland's obviously forced out, and then a Heat Wave is just going to kill this Aegislash. Crit did not matter. Crit did not matter even slightly. Tyranitar comes in. I'm at full HP, and I know that it doesn't have Stone Edge, so I just get to chip this down with Thunderbolt. And another one will kill it, obviously, so I'm just going to go for it again. As in comes the Breloom, and it's going to get 10% paralyzed by the Thunderbolt. So Zapdos having a really solid game. I'm perfectly okay with that again. I don't care about the Breloom when it's paralyzed. I went for another Thunderbolt because it did 48 last time, so it's obviously just going to two-shot it. And that, unfortunately, with the Sand and the Toxic damage, puts me in range of Stoutland's return. I thought about going into Mimikyu here, but I didn't think it was worth it. I thought Zapdos was disposable at this point, so I just went for it. And now I'm going to bring in the Mimikyu, and I'm going to Z-Splash in his face. I think he went for Fire Fang there, I guess for the Cortana, and probably was going for the Burn or the Flinch. Does not get it. Now Sand runs out, so I'm faster, and Mimikyu gets a kill, that means. Luckily for me, it's on Mega T-Tar. If he'd brought in Talonflame, got the Flame Body Burn, that would have been possibly worst case scenario. And then Stoutland's going to come in. I'm like, oh, all right, he can't kill me. And then I'm like, oh no, Black Hole Eclipse. This is really bad at Seed Crunch, but I live. And we get the Drain Punch off when we kill it, and then Talonflame will die to a +3 Shadow Sneak plus Rocks damage. So we are going to pick up the 2-0 win. Scarf Mamoswine didn't have to do anything. I'm glad because I didn't want to rely on Icicle Crash. And the double flying types meant that I could never safely click Earthquake. Breloom's not a reliable Earthquake switch-in. But the double flying types definitely are. So Mimikyu cleaning up and Zapdos cleaning up. 3 kills for each of them. Really solid sort of ending-ish to the season for them. We moved to 10-4 plus 18. This clinches us a spot in the top 7, which means we're guaranteed in the top half of the league by the end of the season. There's only 1 week left. We play Tidivicious and the Quebec Beartiques. Next week in week 15, which is the final week of the regular season. I'm really happy that I hit double digits wins, and like I said, week 11, my goal, I didn't think it was very realistic, but it's turning out to be pretty close to being real, actually. Going 11-4 would be pretty amazing. I'd be very, very, very happy with an 11-4 record. Even if we don't make playoffs, that would guarantee me a promo spot, I think. Just the way the standings have played out here, I've played the most games out of everybody, so I can't guarantee that I'm going to have a playoff spot, especially when there are 2 13-game teams with 9 wins as well, and 3 12-game teams with 8 wins that could all be tied with me at the moment, in theory. Yeah, so there's only... I think the odds are I will finish at least in the top 6, just based on how Josh has been playing with the West Virginia Miniors. We beat him as well, so we have a tiebreaker on him, depending on how the differential stacks up and all the things like that. I'm a little bit worried that we're not going to make a promotion spot. It's actually still in the realm of possibility that we do not make a promotion spot. However, we are guaranteed to be higher than any team number 8 and below at the moment. So, yeah. Basically what that means is even though Tidivicious is already clinched to not be in playoffs or a promotion spot, our match against him in Week 15 matters. It matters a lot for our standing. it's gonna matter a lot for how this breaks down. It's still in the realm of possibility for us to finish top 2. I don't know how likely it is, but it's the possibility is still there. So I'm gonna try my damnedest and my hardest to win my last week and go 11-4. But 10-5 I would also be perfectly content with. 10-5 plus 12 is my worst possible record. That's if I lose 6-0 to Titty Vicious in week 15. And I would say that is still a very successful season, given that it's a 15-week season. So I'm perfectly happy with how I played. GG once again to Obo. This was a great game. He played really well. And that's going to be for me, guys. I will catch you guys for week 15.